Last planner in construction, track the right metrics. Percent plan complete plus the learning loop. I'm excited about this video because in the 20 videos that it's covering the last planner system in this video shoot, you should be able to access the ones before and the ones after. We've talked about the last planner system and key fixes, but there's one thing that we're about to touch on, which is percent plan complete and the other KPIs that we can, and I would actually say should be tracking. So let me talk about percent plan complete or percent of promises complete. We've talked about the weekly work plan where you might be like the Tuesday the week before. A weekly work plan will be Monday through Friday of the next week from your current date through the rest of the week all the way to the second, meaning 2 Fridays from now. This weekly work plan, Monday through Friday, and I'll just do little X's here, will show the planned activities for that week, and it will also show handoffs, if it's done properly, key handoffs, and it will show the commitments made by the trade partner or promises. Now what happens here is the best practice is if we're doing today and we're actually in the afternoon foreman huddle, we can go through and say, did we get that one? And I would check mark that and say, yep, that one's done. And if it's not done, an activity in that day, I can mark it with a red X and we can start to problem solve. Now the bottom line is either in the day or the week, let's just make this easy. Let's say that you had 10 activities or 10 promises and you only got 8. What you do is you do 8 divided by 10 and that equals 80%. You have an 80% percent plan complete. Now in last planner thinking, and it does make sense, like there's concepts that we get from Lean in Japan that talks about 80% is probably the ideal target. Like for instance, in Japan, they say eat until you're 80% full. So I understand the precedent. But the bottom line is you can actually target 100% for your PPC when you're using TACT. When you're using CPM, 80% is probably the ideal. But I want to track 100 because TACT planning is packaged properly. In CPM, they target 80% because they feel if you have 100 that you're sandbagging. But in the TACT system, you should be able to hit 100. But the bottom line is this metric is here to indicate whether or not you are, or the last planner team is hitting or delivering on their promises. So your PPC, your percent plan complete, your percent promises complete is a way to track whether or not you're actually hitting and executing on your promises. Now in CPM, if you do it straight from CPM, you'll only hit 15 to 45%. If you do CPM in last planner and you're really on your game and you have a really healthy, meaning conservative milestone, then you can get up to above 80%. And projects that are above 80% are historically on budget, on time. Projects that are below 80% are historically 15%, meaning not on budget and not on time, meaning that they're 15% below the actual desired target. This is the percent plan complete. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this. This is percent plan complete. You can use percent promises complete. But this is a lagging indicator. I'll just do this as LI, meaning that when you actually go through here and you find this problem, the idea is to dig deeper, ask why 5 times or 7 times, or 9, and get to the root cause, find the reason for the variance and fix it. I will tell you, in very good last planner implementations, client implementations, or my implementations, I've actually never seen anyone effectively use this lagging indicator to make changes that affect the good of the job site. And that actually has been admitted by last planner inventors and practitioners as well. It's a good idea, but it tells us how well we did after the fact. There are a couple of other KPIs that are very important, and I'm going to talk about them right now. The perfect handoff percentage is one, the remaining buffer ratio is another, and the roadblock removal average is another. And a shout out to Spencer Easton and Adam Hoot for helping me a long time ago create these. This was a joint effort, but these are absolutely genius. And the perfect handoff percentage says we're not going to track every activity, but we are going to track the key handoffs. See, if we're handing off from zone to zone, we know that we're in flow. So this one right here is tracking the number of handoffs that we had by the number of handoffs that we actually accomplished. And we do want to be above 80% for that. Now, you actually can, as counterintuitive as it seems, have a good percent plan complete, but have a bad perfect handoff percentage. Your perfect handoff percentage is tracking more ahead of the activities that actually matter. And you might say, isn't the perfect handoff percentage a lagging indicator? It is still technically a lagging indicator, but it's tracking the most important things, so it brings it up on the list of relevance. Now let's talk about leading indicators. Your roadblock removal average, the best way for me to put it is to say, if you're going through this, and let me actually just assume that this is today. I like to look at it from right to left. Some people like to look at it the other way around, but I don't think that way. That by the time you found a roadblock in your out ahead, in your look ahead planning, to the time that you resolved it, you can either track one or two things. You can track the average time it takes to remove, or my preference is the average time between resolution and impact of the work. That's my preference. And so what you would do, if you have a negative number, that's bad. If you have 0, that means you're like firefighting. And if you have a positive number, that means that you are removing roadblocks out ahead. And that is a crucial KPI, a leading indicator that will create flow and make work ready. The remaining buffer ratio will basically say, and let me draw this over here, that if you have a phase of work and you have buffers because you've used tact properly, the question is, how many buffers do you need versus how many do you still have? And if you do this ratio, you should be above 1. Now you can track that visually, or you can just track that with this number. So if you have anything over 1, like 1.1, you're good. If you have anything less than 1, like 0.95, that means you don't have enough buffers remaining according to how many you need to finish the phase. So that's the remaining buffer ratio. I apologize for getting those backwards, but the bottom line is, percent plan complete is great if you actually use it and base it on tact. You can actually get some traction there. You will not be able to use PPC well with CPM because you're not tracking anything stable. But I would say a higher level lagging indicator is your perfect handoff percentage because you're tracking critical handoffs. And then your leading indicators, which are how well are you tracking according to your buffers and how well are you removing roadblocks. These are 3 additional KPIs which will actually matter to your production plan, which are very easy to track. As we get scheduling softwares up and running and include AI, it will track automatically and it will give us more data. Now you can learn how to do this and track this in the book Tact, Steering, and Control, and you'll find out more of why it's necessary in the book, The 10 Improvements to the Last Planner System. We'll also turn this into a blog post, and I'll invite you to use our templates or use the application intact, or reach out for help if you ever need it in the comments below. I always respond right away. The other thing is, if you ever want to join our daily coaching chat on WhatsApp, you can ask for help real-time daily for free. And we love helping people out. Just ask us if you need any help. But we're here to help, and we hope you've enjoyed this concept, this improvement, and this video. On we go.